Hey everybody, it's Miss Angela again from Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama, and welcome to another Try It Thursday. This week's experiment is an oldie but a goodie. It's actually one of the very first experiments that I ever learned when I first started teaching science and technology back in the time of the dinosaurs, is what my daughter would probably say to me right now. And it's really a great experiment because you have almost everything you need right in front of you. So let's get started.
So for this activity today, it's going to be really super easy, not a whole lot of supplies. So you're going to need a piece of paper, you're going to need a pencil, you're going to need some clear tape. That's really all you're going to need for this activity. And so first thing you're going to want to do is on your piece of paper, your scratch piece of paper, you're going to take your pencil and you're just going to make a pretty dark kind of scribble about this size. You want to use the flat part of your pencil and make it about that kind of. Now don't use the tip of the pencil, so you get like that type of thing. It's going to take a long time. Use that kind of flat side of the pencil so that you can actually get a big scribble like that. The next step is to get a piece of tape. You're going to just tear off a piece of tape and about the size of your finger. Okay, so that's about the size that you want. And then you're going to kind of put it aside. You may want to tape it to the side of your table, or what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to tape a little bit of it right on the side of my tape dispenser right here so that I can get to it really easy. If you don't do this ahead of time, it's going to make things a little bit harder. Okay? Next step is you're going to take your finger. You're going to take the flat part of your finger, not the tip, not the side. You're going to take this flat part right here. And then basically all you're going to do is you're just going to rub the flat part of your finger all over this pencil part, scribble that you just did. When you're done, you can see that the pencil has transferred onto my finger. After that, I'm just going to take my piece of tape. I'm going to then cover it with the tape. So I'm putting that. So I've covered the pencil scribble that's transferred onto my finger straight onto the tape like that. You can see that right there. After this, we're going to take the tape off and then put that down right next to our scribble from before. So I moved my camera like super up close so that you can see exactly what happened. This right here, I'm going to outline it for you. This is the piece of tape right here. And then you can see right in the middle here, this is my fingerprint. This is the little ridges that you can see here that are on my fingers. Now, everybody's fingerprints are different, just a little bit. So even if you're an identical twin, you have mostly the same fingerprints, but there's actually some small differences. And every single person has a fingerprint because they're used to grip things. It just happens to be that they're different from each other. Now, if you are something called a forensic scientist, this is really super interesting because there are really about 3 main types of fingerprints. Now, if you take a look at your fingerprints, you're going to notice that the lines kind of go in some sort of pattern. Sometimes they start on one side and end on the other side, something like this. Sometimes they start on one side and then they end on the same side, something like this. And other times they do this kind of whirlpool looking thing where they start in the middle and they get bigger as they go to the outside like this. These are the 3 main types of fingerprints. So I went ahead and printed a picture out of some actual fingerprints so you can kind of see how these look. These are the ones where we're going to start with this one right here. This is the one called the arch. This is the one that starts on one side and ends on the different side. You can kind of see how it does it like that. That's called an arch, okay? Sometimes the other ones, remember, were ones that started on one side and then ended on the same side that it started on. See how the lines kind of go all the way like this? These are called loops. In this picture, you can see that there's right loops and left loops. That just depends on what way that it started, on the right side or the left side. That's the only thing. And then that whirlpool looking one where it starts in the middle and goes out to the outside is called a whirl. So I'm going to go and take a look at my fingerprint and see which one that I have. So taking a look at my fingerprint, what I'm noticing is that I have lines that start on one side and end on the other side. And I'm just drawing them so you can see them better. You don't have to do that on yours. So I think that this is an arch fingerprint. Now, if I did this on another finger, would I get the same type of fingerprint? I don't know. We could try it and see. Okay, so this is my thumb on my left hand. And so what I'm noticing here is that I've got kind of a crazy fingerprint on my thumb. I'm noticing I got definitely got some arch things going on here, but I've also got this whirlpool thing on here. So I actually have something called a mixed fingerprint on my thumb because I've got both of these kind of elements right here, which is pretty cool and very different from my index finger that I started with right here. So as you can see, my fingerprints are different in the big categories from my thumb to my first finger, my index finger right here. Now, you could do this for all of your fingers if you wanted to and see what the differences are. Take a look and see and do the exact same thing with just that pencil and then rubbing it and putting a piece of tape on top. Easy peasy, not hard to do. If you wanted, you could also maybe, go bug your mom and see if she could give you some fingerprints. And you could you could put together a cool whodunit thing this summer where you have fingerprints and maybe somebody took something and you're trying to figure out the culprit. This would be really fun. It would take a minute to kind of figure all that stuff out, but it's super neat to do. But again, it's not hard and you can learn a whole lot about yourself and your fingerprints with just some easy supplies that we did here today. So we hope that you have a great time with this activity. Again, this is actually one of the very first classes that I ever taught was actually on fingerprinting. So it's an oldie but a goodie. I really, really love it. So hope that you guys have fun with this, and then we will see you again next week on Try It Thursday. Bye.